So this video, I want to start to do some disassembly on this board to work us towards cleaning. So I'm going to pull ICs out, and basically with where I put them in the foam here, oh, those pins are black, will help us get them back in the same place. Yeah, those pins were black. Can I get underneath this at all? Not really. I don't think I can look a screwdriver down in there. There's not much of a slot. There we go. Looks a little bit. I can't find my good chip lifter. I don't know what happened to it. I haven't seen it for quite a while. Let's see if we can get these to release. These are, of course, the UARTs. Oh, those pins are just... yeah. The odds of this just working as received are minimal. That's the upper UART. The lower UART. We've got 8 RAMs. 1, 2. Pins actually look pretty decent on these first 2. Ooh. I'd rather not bend up the pins if I can avoid it. These are 8111s. Or no, these are 2114s. 8111s. They are 20. They're not 2114s. They're 2111s. Which does make me think that that's a total of 1K, 2K? Oh, I don't remember how. I think this is just a different marking of the 8111, which is a 512-bit by 4. I don't remember. Now, in the previous video, I called these 2114s because that's what it looked like until I actually looked closer here. These are P2111A-4s. They're Intel parts. So that's nice. We've got all of that taken care of. Again, I want to try to make the position on the foam here kind of indicate where they were socket-wise. I might have enough room to get all 4 across there. Yeah, so that maintains those positions. Can I get the logic out here? Oops, and then I drop it. Also trying to maintain orientation, 74 LS100. I don't know how to read that date code, if it is a date code. It's a national semiconductor part. This is a TI part, 74LS. Not sure. Pins are just completely black, not uncommon with these TI parts from the era. A nice Fairchild parts. Leads are nice and clean, look great. 74 LS05 maybe. That might be an 08. I don't have enough light here to be able to actually read these at the moment. Very black pins. Again, I believe it's a TI part. 156, it's hard to say. Part number's really hard to read. Another what I believe to be TI part and black pins. So we've got all the ICs removed. I don't believe these will screw all the way off. Nope. Those 10-turn pots are quite potentially sealed. I'm debating whether to remove them. What do you think? I am going to put this in the dishwasher and give it a good scrub there. I know a lot of people hate that idea. I've had good luck with it. Of course, you got to get everything off that could be damaged by water. And like I say, I won't use heat to dry. But I'm debating whether to try to remove the potentiometers or not. So it's interesting that these, because of the size of the pins, weren't mounted down through the board. They're just standing there, soldered to the top. Is that just folded down, or is there actually some kind of weird connection there that's just folded down? Okay. It's just been crushed down at some point. See, I'm debating whether to try to remove them or just trust that they're sealed well enough I won't get water intrusion. Because I don't honestly know that I can remove them. Let me just give it a shot here, however. The sockets will dry out. They will get water in them. There's not much I can do about it. They will dry out with time. See, I'll use a little heat to help facilitate that. It needs to be washed. It needs soap and hot water to get all of this gunk off. So we take a bit of solder. And I'm going to add solder just on this one at this point. Just a touch of fresh solder to all 3 pins. I don't think this will be warmed up yet. Definitely getting there. This thing comes up to temp a lot quicker than I would have potentially expected. It just does. It's kind of surprising to me. Let's go ahead and only attempt to unsolder this one. The question is did it flow through? So it is removable. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and remove at least these 3 pots just so they don't get water infiltration. I'm actually surprised how cleanly that came off. That does actually make me think about, well, maybe I should strip the board down and get the PCB layout captured. That one sits much further forward. That's why it didn't seem aligned. Yeah, that pretty cleanly removed. I see more pins poking through that are only soldered on the top and not the bottom. That's crazy. Oh, well, I'm very happy with how that came out. And that one actually wasn't bad either. So the question becomes, can I remove these two when they are just weirdly tack soldered? on the top of the board. That's not the pick. That didn't release. Actually moved a bit. And whoever soldered this on here, good job. It's insane that you went through that, but it is what it is. Let's see if we can get this one to come off. Oh, the dirt under there. I'm more and more convinced that you know somebody attempted to clean this at some point, brushed it off, and got a lot of the surface. Okay, one of these should release. Oh, that one isn't released. There it goes. Kind of ugly here. But again, it lifted, and I don't think I damaged any traces. Oops. The position's, of course, captured here. And, of course, I've got the BOM and the schematic if I needed to figure out what values went where. So, yeah, those solder holes don't look nearly as large as the ones over here. They are not. I will, however, remove the solder. I also like to break these loose and remove them. Well, actually, I don't think the water's going to hurt these, and they're filthy. They could be cleaned as well. So really, the only thing that is concerning to me at this point is the sockets, and it just is what it is. There will be some water get down in there. I'm not going to attempt to remove them at this point. Yeah, the drill holes are bigger where these three pots are than over here. I may have some pots that would actually work in there that have wire leads rather than the flat blade leads like these have. I'd have to look. I might. Just so dirty. I think the silk screen will be absolutely fine. I see no evidence that it's trying to come off here. There is a scratch there that I didn't do that I think is whoever was trying to solder that on. With the iron scratch, the bit of silk screen there. Looks like they're using 0.01 microfarad. They're 103s for decoupling, which is fine. There's a 2N3702. 2N2222, that's the level conversion, I believe, for the RS-232. Oh, it is actually marked here, 100K, 5K and 5K, 20K and 20K. I hadn't noticed that under the silkscreen is component values. Is that true? 0.05, that's a 0.05 disc, so the component values may actually be captured, at least for some of this, in the silkscreen. 50 volt, 0.01, 0.05. Oh, interesting. I believe they've even got the diode numbers. I mean, the silkscreen certainly shows the diode orientation. Thank you. That's very nice. I'm tempted to lift a lead on a resistor, or even maybe remove one, if I can remove one. And see if under the silkscreen it's actually got is that not plated through? That almost felt like it wasn't plated through. That would be surprising. It should be this resistor right here. Is it? I don't want to break the original resistor. There, it lifted. And it is labeled 300. It is an orange, black, brown, so 30 followed by 20, so it's actually a 3K. 300 ohm. 30 and brown is 1 followed by 10, so it is a 300 ohm. That definitely says 300 under there. That might be a little tiny ohm symbol there. Interesting. That's really cool. The component values are in the silkscreen. These are all 100K here. I don't know if they're like precision or something. I don't know, because I think this is where the baud rate's generated. I could be wrong. At some point we'll look at the schematic to know. I'm noticing that this socket is in backwards. So pin 1, pin 1, pin 1, pin 1. The notch on the socket, boom, that one's in backwards. That's sad. Those are in correct orientation. There's white dots here where pin 1 goes. And, oh wait, pin 1, pin 1. Well, I kept the orientation correct the way they came out. They were all oriented the same. With pin 1 down here. So I don't know what the white dot there and there is about. White dot, white dot, white dot, white dot. Oh, that white dot's for that position and that one's for that position. Okay, that is what those are about. So yeah, pin 1 is lower left here on all those. That socket's just in backwards. That socket's in backwards. Either somebody had a really light hand soldering. They're just too consistent. I still think this probably went through a wave solder machine for things like the sockets. And then this is all definitely hand soldered. There's much more solder down here than there is on these sockets. So like all of the resistors and capacitors were hand soldered, but the sockets were machine soldered. There's a bridge there. Is there supposed to be a bridge there? It looks like there probably is. Oh yeah, it's got to be a power rail. Yeah. Anything else to look at on this board? Well, hopefully the next video after this one will have this cleaned up and looking better, and we'll decide what to do going from there. So I hope you'll join me in that video. We'll talk soon.